Three Blind Mice is a work by Agatha Christie. This video contains commentary and analysis that falls under fair use for educational purposes. We do not claim ownership of the original literary work. The content in this video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. While we strive for accuracy, we do not guarantee the completeness or correctness of any interpretation, analysis, or information presented. Viewers are encouraged to consult the original literary work and draw their own conclusions.
Welcome to Introspective English Hub, where we listen deeply and learn by heart. Today, we'll explore a few powerful themes and unforgettable characters from Three Blind Mice by Agatha Christie. A story set in a snow-covered guest house where suspicion runs deep and nothing is as it seems. Let's begin with its intriguing characters, Mollie Davis. Mollie Davis is portrayed as a tall and attractive woman in her late 20s. Newly married to Giles Ralston, she inherits Monkswell Manor from her aunt and decides to turn it into a guest house. This decision not only secures a place for the couple to live, but also becomes their source of income, a practical and forward-thinking solution that shows Mollie's resourcefulness and determination. She is hardworking, level-headed, and doesn't waste time blaming others when problems arise. Instead, she focuses on finding solutions. Her calm, composed nature becomes especially evident in the way she handles the difficult and constantly complaining Mrs. Boyle. Mollie treats all guests with patience and kindness, ensuring their comfort even under stressful circumstances. Mollie also displays emotional resilience. Despite intense psychological pressure, suspicion, and a strained relationship with Giles, who even begins to doubt her, she never loses her composure. She remains cooperative, honest, and courageous throughout the unfolding mystery. Though she sometimes feels insecure and afraid, she tries to trust others. Ironically, she becomes a target of suspicion in Sergeant Trotter's eyes, who is actually the vengeful killer, Jim. However, by the end, her innocence is clear. She has committed no wrongdoing and only tried to protect her home, guests, and fragile marriage. Mollie Davis is a symbol of emotional strength and integrity, a woman navigating chaos with quiet courage. Giles Ralston. Giles Ralston is a handsome man in his late 20s, roughly the same age as Mollie. A former naval officer, he brings discipline, structure, and quiet authority. His military background makes him naturally take charge during crises, stepping into a protector's role with confidence and control. Giles is practical, used to fixing problems and acting decisively. At Monkswell Manor, he often takes on chores and manages tense situations, but this involvement also draws suspicion. Guests, and even Mollie, begin to question his unexplained absences and secretive behavior. Though protective and well-intentioned, Giles's emotional side is more complex. He becomes jealous and insecure when his relationship with Mollie feels threatened. His guarded nature and emotional distance under stress make others wonder what he might be hiding, and whether he could be involved in the crimes. Despite suspicions, Giles ultimately proves his loyalty. His character arc reveals the importance of trust, honesty, and communication in a marriage tested by fear and danger. In the end, Giles Ralston is a man shaped by duty, tested by doubt, and strengthened by love. Mrs. Boyle. Mrs. Boyle is a large, middle-aged woman, domineering, querulous, and deeply judgmental. A former magistrate, she carries herself with a stern sense of authority and entitlement, quick to criticize everything around her. From the moment she arrives at Monkswell Manor, she complains about the food, the furniture, the heating, everything really. Her harsh, old-fashioned attitude and complete inflexibility immediately set her apart from the other guests. Beneath her cold and abrasive exterior lies a dark and troubling past. As a magistrate, Mrs. Boyle made a fateful decision. She sent 3 young foster children to Long Ridge Farm, a place later exposed as abusive. One of the children died there. Though the consequences were devastating, Mrs. Boyle disavows responsibility. She insists she merely did her duty, never acknowledging the human cost of her actions. Her lack of empathy is chilling. She hides this part of her identity, never disclosing her involvement in the foster care case. But cracks begin to show. Whenever the police are mentioned or questions arise about the children, Mrs. Boyle grows visibly nervous. Her discomfort suggests guilt, or at least fear of exposure. Her constant complaining and abrasiveness function as a shield, keeping others at a distance. She's defensive, uncooperative, and emotionally closed off, traits that isolate her rather than protect her. Just before her murder, she seems to recognize the person who approaches her. It's a chilling moment, hinting at her secret awareness and perhaps long-suppressed guilt. In the end, her refusal to accept responsibility and unwillingness to change seal her fate. Mrs. Boyle represents the dangers of rigid authority, unacknowledged guilt, and emotional denial. In Christie's world, the past always returns, especially for those who try to bury it. Christopher Wren. Christopher Wren is a nervous, eccentric young man in his early 20s, described as wild-looking, with long, disheveled hair and unkempt appearance. The first guest to arrive at Monkswell Manor, he instantly draws attention with his flamboyant personality, anxious manner, and odd behavior. He claims to be an architect, but later confesses that both his name and profession are false. In truth, he is an army deserter trying to escape a traumatic and unhappy childhood. Orphaned early, Christopher carries emotional wounds shaping his jumpy, unpredictable behavior. Though often viewed with suspicion due to his nervous energy, mysterious background, and resemblance to the suspected killer's profile, Christopher reveals a softer side. He is friendly, childlike, and emotionally sensitive, enjoying cooking, admiring furniture, and singing nursery rhymes to soothe himself. These quirks increase tension, yet also make him deeply human. Wren's nosiness and habit of prying increase suspicion, but his vulnerability becomes clear. Rather than a villain, he is a misunderstood outsider, a young man haunted by his past but innocent of any crime. Christopher Wren embodies themes of prejudice, misunderstanding, and the struggle to escape one's past. In Christie's world, suspicion often falls on those who are simply different. Major Metcalf. Major Metcalf is a calm, disciplined, middle-aged man, a retired military officer with a quiet, authoritative presence. Stoic and composed, he blends into the other guests at Monkswell Manor. His reserved demeanor and methodical nature make him appear trustworthy amid the emotional chaos. But there's more to Metcalf than meets the eye. Though he presents as a retired army man, Major Metcalf is actually Inspector Tanner, an undercover police officer sent to investigate the murders and protect guests. He took the place of the real Metcalf to observe suspects covertly. His military restraint helps him avoid suspicion and gain trust. His calm steadiness contrasts with growing hysteria. While others panic and accuse, Metcalf remains composed, slowly uncovering the truth. His hidden identity and professional instincts bring the mystery to resolution. Major Metcalf represents controlled authority, strategic deception, and moral clarity. In a house full of secrets, he holds the key to justice. Mr. Paravicini. Mr. Paravicini is a mysterious and flamboyant guest who arrives unexpectedly at Monkswell Manor during a snowstorm, claiming his car overturned in a snowdrift. With his dark mustache, exaggerated manners, and foreign accent, he unsettles the other guests. He appears elderly, possibly in disguise, and delights in cryptic remarks and humming Three Blind Mice, the murderer's supposed calling card. Eccentric, mischievous, and theatrical, Paravicini becomes deeply suspicious. His sudden appearance, secretive background, and strange behavior make him an easy target in a house filled with fear and paranoia. Guests point fingers at him, not due to evidence, but because he stands out as different and foreign. However, as the mystery unfolds, Paravicini is revealed as a red herring. His presence serves a thematic purpose. He embodies misdirection and highlights how fear of the other clouds judgment. Mr. Paravicini represents the danger of assumptions, allure of mystery, and psychological power of misdirection. In a game of suspicion, he is the perfect distraction. Sergeant Trotter. Sergeant Trotter arrives at Monkswell Manor during a snowstorm, claiming to be a police officer sent to investigate a murder. He appears cheerful, confident, and speaks with a London accent. At first, he seems focused on protecting the guests and solving a crime linked to the death of a child in abusive foster care. As the story unfolds, it's revealed that Trotter is not a real detective. He is actually Jim, Georgie's brother. He has taken a false identity to get close to those he believes responsible for his siblings' suffering, especially Mollie Ralston. Haunted by his past, Trotter is mentally unstable and driven by grief and revenge. His behavior grows more intense, and he eventually tries to kill Mollie, believing she played a part in his brother's death. He is stopped just in time by Major Metcalf, who is actually an undercover police officer. Sergeant Trotter is both a killer and a tragic figure. Though violent, his actions stem from deep emotional pain. His story brings a powerful twist to the mystery and shows how unresolved trauma can lead to destruction. Ready to uncover the deeper meanings behind Three Blind Mice? Let's explore its major themes. Revenge. The driving force behind the story is Sergeant Trotter's hidden desire for revenge. He believes certain people are responsible for his brother's death at Longridge Farm, and he infiltrates Monkswell Manor to punish them. This theme shows how personal pain can lead to dark choices, doubt and suspicion. Everyone in the guest house begins to doubt each other, even the couple who own it. Giles doubts Mollie. Guests mistrust each other as they do not know each other. No one feels safe. Christie uses this to build tension and show how fear clouds judgment. The theme explores how suspicion affects relationships and human interactions. Mystery. The story keeps us guessing who is the killer, who is telling the truth. From the moment the first murder is announced, the mystery deepens, keeping readers on edge. Psychology Trotter's actions stem from his trauma and mental breakdown after losing his brother. This theme highlights how unprocessed grief can distort reality and lead to violence. Justice Trotter believes he's delivering justice, but is it really justice or personal revenge? Christie challenges us to ask, can we take justice into our own hands? Past sins and consequences. The first victim, Mrs. Lyon, died because she mistreated 3 foster children. It is a kind of retribution for her previous sins. Similarly, the second victim lost her life because she did not show sincere responsibility to the foster children, but merely completed her duty. Misdirection. In the disguise of Sergeant Trotter, Jim came to misdirect everyone in the guest house, and all were afraid to stay in Monkswell Manor. Appearance versus reality. Most of the characters appeared to be someone other than who they really were. For example, Inspector Tanner was actually Major Metcalf. Giles created more suspicion, and Sergeant Trotter, who appeared to be investigating, was really Jim, a psycho killer. That's all for today. Want more literary insights on Three Blind Mice? You'll find them on our channel, Introspective English Hub, and on our website, www.introspectiveenglish.com. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this literary dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Introspective English Hub, where we listen deeply and learn by heart. Until next time, stay curious and keep reading.